My fiancé called me a rich simp and bragged about draining my money. So, I ended the engagement in front of her family. I've always been the type of guy who believes in treating his partner like a queen. I grew up watching my dad shower my mom with love and generosity, and I wanted to replicate that in my own relationships. When I met my fiancée, Lauren, I thought I'd found someone who truly deserved it. Lauren was stunning, witty, and charismatic. We'd been together for 2 years, and I'd made it a point to make her feel special. Expensive dates? Check. Thoughtful gifts? Check. Helping her with rent and bills when she was between jobs? Of course. I didn't think much of it because I loved her, and I wanted to see her happy. But then, last week, everything came crashing down. Lauren had a girls' night out with some of her friends, and they came back to our place pretty late. I was upstairs, but I could hear their voices carry through the walls. They didn't realize I was home. That's when I overheard Lauren laugh and say, "Yeah, I've got him wrapped around my finger. He's such a rich simp, he just throws money at me. Honestly, I'm draining his wallet dry, and he doesn't even see it. By the time we're married, I'll have access to everything." Her friends laughed along, and one of them asked, "What if he finds out?" Lauren responded, "Please. He's too in love with me to notice anything. Besides, I deserve it for putting up with him." My heart sank. Was this really how she saw me? A wallet? I didn't sleep that night. I replayed her words over and over, wondering how I'd been so blind. Had everything between us been a lie? I thought about all the times I'd gone out of my way for her, covering her car repairs, paying off her student loans, and even giving her a down payment for her dream business, which never materialized, by the way. At first, I wanted to confront her immediately, but I knew that wouldn't give me the closure I needed. I needed to be smart about this. The next day, I started gathering evidence. I went through my bank statements and tallied up everything I'd spent on her. The total? Over $70,000. I felt like a fool. Then, I reached out to her parents. They'd always been kind to me, and I wanted them to know the truth before things escalated. Her mom was shocked, but her dad told me he'd noticed Lauren's entitlement before. He supported my decision to break things off. A week later, Lauren's family invited us over for dinner. It was supposed to be a casual evening, but I had other plans. I decided to use the opportunity to end the engagement. I considered doing it privately, but after hearing how she'd mocked me to her friends, I wanted her to face the consequences of her actions in front of people who mattered. Dinner started off fine, but midway through the meal, I cleared my throat and said, "I have something I need to say." Everyone turned to look at me, including Lauren, who seemed clueless. "I've come to a decision," I began. "This engagement is over." The room went silent. Lauren's jaw dropped. "What are you talking about?" she demanded. I pulled out my phone and played the audio I'd recorded from the night she bragged to her friends. Her face turned pale as her parents stared at her in shock. "You called me a rich simp and said you were draining my money," I said, my voice calm but firm. "I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on you because I thought we were building a future together. But clearly, you saw me as nothing more than a bank account." Her mom gasped, and her dad looked furious. Lauren stammered, "I didn't mean it like that. It was just a joke." "A joke?" I said. "It didn't sound like one. You were perfectly happy to take advantage of my kindness, and I'm done being used." Lauren's dad apologized to me on her behalf, but I told him it wasn't necessary. This wasn't his fault. Lauren, on the other hand, tried to guilt me into forgiving her, saying she'd been drunk and didn't mean what she said. I didn't buy it. "Drunk words are sober thoughts," I said. "I deserve someone who values me for who I am, not what I can give them." I left the dinner that night feeling lighter than I had in weeks. I returned the engagement ring to the jeweler and started focusing on myself. Lauren tried reaching out several times after that, but I blocked her. Her friends even messaged me, calling me petty for ending things so publicly. But honestly, I don't regret it. Breaking off the engagement was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it taught me an important lesson. Generosity should never be mistaken for obligation. I'm still open to love, but next time, I'll make sure I'm with someone who values me for more than my bank account. As for Lauren, I heard through mutual friends that her reputation took a hit after that dinner. She moved back in with her parents and had to start working full-time to cover her expenses. Maybe this will be a wake-up call for her, but honestly, that's no longer my concern. Don't let love blind you to red flags. You deserve someone who loves you for you, not what you can provide.